All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this 100% truth, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing His word, all right, in humility and sincerity. And we'll come back with another quick lesson, Lord willing. It's edifying, and the title of this lesson is all the heathen are enemies, enemies. You know what I'm saying? And all of the heathen are responsible. You know, they're all guilty. You know what I'm saying? What we mean by that is they're guilty of the destruction, partaking in the destruction of the nation of Israel, man. Right, children of Israel. You know, who today is known as so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. These nations, the so-called Chinese, Africans, East Indians, Arabs, they all those nations, they had a slave trade that consisted of trading Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Well, I believe during the Atlantic slave trade, that Ishmael actually built the ships, and you know, of course, Esau funded it, but Ham rounded us up.
Right, and that's written. That's prophecy. I'm about to read it.
Because I want to say this too, brother, because you know, sometimes we get carried away, and it ain't even carried away with that name Esau, because Esau is public enemy number one. Right. But we to the unlearned, they a lot of Esau, and we don't, Moab be walking past, and we be getting no Esau, but then Moab walk past with his head down, like he just innocent. Right, you going down too.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. That's the whole point of the inspiration of the lesson, man. You know, this is Joel 3 and 3. I'm gonna start at verse 2. See, cause why the Lord say He gonna gather all nations to the valley of judgment, Yahweh Shaphat, because all nations played a part.
Oh, that's right.
It's Joel 3 and 1. For behold, in those days and at that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
And that's spiritual, because we are witnessing that right now. Okay. The Lord is literally, gathering all the nations over there in the Middle East, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And just 500 years ago, they was all cool. You know what I'm saying? It was all good. They was trading niggas. They was getting cotton. They was getting,
What song was that? It was just all good just a week ago.
Right. It says, reading on, and will plead with them there for my people and my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, right? All nations. It said that He's gathering all nations because they scattered Israel among the nations. It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right, and when it says He will plead, that word plead in that verse in the Hebrew is shapat, which means to judge. And the word Jehoshaphat is goes back to Yahweh Shaphat, which is Yahweh's judgment. So verse 3 says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Who did that? All of the other nations outside of Israel. They did that to Israel, and that's documented in secular history too. You know what I'm saying? About how, they would trade slaves for wine, horses. I think you could get, if you had 42 Indian slaves, you could get a horse. Or for 40, or one horse, it will get you 42 Indian slaves. It says, verse 4, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Right, like, because the brother mentioned the Africans and the Arabs, teaming up. It says, oh, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Ooh. Yeah, so and Tyre and Zidon go back to the Canaanite nations. Wow. You know what I'm saying? In Palestine,
Ishmael.
Yeah, Ishmael, the Arab nations. So they're guilty. And the Lord got it recorded. Even the Lord even speak about, the Ethiopians, Moab.
Yeah, because when you read, even when you read the book of Judges, these other nations had us in captivity. Right. At one time too. Right. And if you're done with that, you can go to Psalms the 83rd chapter. Right. Because Esau is not our only enemy, man. Okay. When you read this book of Psalms 83rd chapter, it gives you the list of our enemies.
This is Psalms chapter 83. Verse 2.
Because when they be having them different UN meetings, some G220 summits and things like that, you know, it's every nation there but Israel.
Right.
It's someone representing every nation on the planet Earth but Israel, right?
Right.
And what you think that they're doing?
Right.
If we're the only one that doesn't have a representative at that meeting, who you think that meeting is about?
Right.
You're gonna have a meeting about someone who's not there.
Right.
You know, so y'all can figure out what y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That's proof. You know what I'm saying? That's proof that they conspiring against us. Cause why wouldn't you have any representatives, you know, of them being there?
Right. You don't see Apostle Tar and Apostle Gabar them at the GG
right.
representing Israel. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why. Damn, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's what I'm gonna say. That's why the king of Syria, I believe he came up against Israel because Israel's king had a meeting with the king of Egypt. He tried to get help from Egypt, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't include the king of Syria, so he already knew, like, bro, you fucking up. So that's why he came against us. But it's Psalms 83:2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. A tumult is an angry gathering.
Right.
It says, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. You know, like the brother said, that crafty counsel goes into those different international summits and meetings that they have where they're pretty much conspiring and plotting against the children of Israel. And that's what this is saying here. It says, verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right, and those other nations, they literally want that too. We know Esau wants that, but these other nations, they understand too, as long as we're down, it's a chance for them to come up. Because all these other nations, they're thinking about ruling next, okay? See, Esau, he believes that, you know, these other nations are just fine and dandy with him just staying in power forever. No, the playing fields are literally equal, okay? So nowadays, like, look, we don't need two devils no more either. So guess what? We're going to help you keep the nation of Israel down, you know? So, you know, you got all these nations, they are in bed with each other, and the heathens literally giving Esau advice on how to further destroy us.
It's really beautiful because the Lord gonna cause them to pretty much, like you said, they've been on one accord when it comes to this, but as far as all the other aspirations, the Lord gonna create that division, man, you know, and make them come up against each other.
That's right.
It says in verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Right, and that's why you grew up black, you grew up Hispanic, you grew up, you know, Native American, whatever, and not an Israelite, because they cut that off from us during chattel slavery. It says, cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
Oh, there it is, the so-called white man.
Right.
So-called Arab. Hey, the same Arab you niggas call your Muslim brother.
Right.
You know, you got Jake going to these Ishmael stories, assalamu alaikum. And then, like, Ishmael may say it back to you, but in his mind, he like, nigga,
you stupid as fuck.
Same nigga you get a gyro from.
Worshiping my God, nigga. That shit crazy, really, man. You know? Like, but anyway, verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom. So that shows you that Edom is the top enemy, you know, of the children of Israel. You know, it says, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre.
There it is.
So it lists the Japanese, the Chinese, the small hats, the
Japhet,
everybody. Japhet, the Hawaiians,
all the other nations out, because heathen just mean you're not an Israelite.
Right.
So there it is. All you other nations are our enemies too. And guess what? You all had us in slavery at one point in time. And there's a judgment for that. And matter of fact, we can, if you want to grab that, Jeremiah 30:16. You got a lot of niggas out there, I don't want a slave. They just want equality. Lord gotta destroy a nigga that think like that, man. Bring him into the kingdom in his right state of mind, man.
This is Jeremiah 30, verse 16.
Hey, if it was up to our people, man, with none of these heathens going to slavery, man, I tell you that.
Right. The Lord wouldn't even come back.
Yeah.
It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured.
And guess what? The brother was going into how they all playing a role today in us being devoured, man. Okay? They give this devil advice on how to further oppress us, right? but they actually devoured us too. You know, once upon a time, right? But you got it, brother.
It says, verse 16, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them.
Every one of them. So all you nations, man. Hey, because I'm telling you, boy, we be at camp, we be getting on Esau ass. Those other nations like to walk past and grin at us and pretty much bow their head to it, like saying what's up. Right. No, nigga, you ain't. You other nations ain't off the hook, man. That's what this should be really titled. Right. You other nations ain't off the hook.
Yeah, that's the title right there. Lord willing. This back here, Jeremiah 30:16 now it says halfway through, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. You know, so we gonna consume you nations, man. We gonna swallow you up the same way you swallowed us up. You know, we gonna swallow up all your resources the same way you swallowed up our resources. You know, we're gonna make you slaves the same way you made us slaves.
That's right.
Cause we built the Great Wall of China, we built the whole United States of America, we built up Europe, we built up the Taj Mahal, all these different great world wonders, the Great Pyramids. We built all this shit. We built the whole earth. So of course it's gonna come back to us, man. I got a precept. This is Jeremiah 25 and verse 13. And I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah have prophesied against all the nations. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds, and according to their works of their own hands.
Hey, because when you go into that word re, it means back, compense. It's like a compensation, a payment, right? So this is, the Lord is going to repay.
Right.
Repay them.
Yep. So he said according to their works and their own hands, man. So those same way you nations, like the Ishmaelites, they was known for cutting Jake Rod off. They would cut Jake Rod off a lot. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, Moab had us building the Great Wall of China. You know, and you know how the so-called white men did you worse than anybody.
Worse than anybody.
It says in verse 15, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it, and they shall drink. So not only is Esau going to drink that cup, but all you nations going to drink that cup, which is the curses, man. Deuteronomy 30:7, that all these curses will come upon our enemies and on all of them that hate us. It says, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all nations to whom I send thee to drink it, and they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup at the Lord Yahweh's hand, and made all nations to drink, unto whom Yahweh had sent me, to wit, Jerusalem, and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make a desolation and astonishment, a hissing and a curse, as it is this day. And I could read it, but from verse 18 all the way down to 25, it lists all the different nations. It lists every nation from Egypt to Ashkelon to Edom to Moab to Zidon to Tyrus to Dedan to Arabia, Elam. And so I'm going to jump down to verse 26. It says, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Shishak shall drink after them. Therefore shalt thou say unto them, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. So hey, the Lord gonna, punish these nations, man. They tell you in Isaiah 13 that Babylon's gonna fall and not rise again. You know? So back here in I'm gonna read Nehemiah chapter 5 verse 9. It says, also I said, it is not good that ye do, ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God, because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies. So the scripture pretty much just explained that the heathen are our enemies, man. You know? And we already read that every heathen is gonna go into captivity, man. Every single one of them. This is Zechariah chapter 15 verse 1. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen. So not only is the Lord displeased with Esau, and hate Esau, but Lord is displeased with the heathen. It says, I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. You know, so you heathens, man, you forwarded our affliction, man. Meaning you made matters worse. Mm-hmm. The Lord it was our time to be under Esau, but you took it upon yourself to join in with the fun too.
You know?
And I'll get one more.
Yeah, so, if you out there thinking that, just Esau our enemy and the rest of the heathens love us, think again, right. They hate you too. Esau just has a perpetual hatred, which is a never-ending hatred, What
was that, Luke 16 with the parable?
I think it's
about them licking their wounds. I think it's Luke 16.
Yeah, I believe it is too.
Yeah, this is Luke chapter 16. I'm gonna just jump straight to the point. Verse 20. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores. Now, this Lazarus in this parable represents the nation of Israel, and those sores represent, the curses, man, the condition that our people was in. And it says, verse 21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fall from the rich man's table, that's our people. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. Now, what is that word dogs going into? Is going into the other heathen nations, man. And what does it mean by licking the sores? Meaning they benefited off of our low condition, which lead me real quick to Revelation 11 real quick.
And you can see that. Mm-hmm. And this is why, these other nations, they come to America and pretty much help Esau defile. Like Ishmael, he set up those, gas stations and stores in the low-priced neighborhoods and feed you, and sell you Black and Milds and cigars and, wild Irish rolls, and then give you a damn Philly cheesesteak sandwich, right. And then he go slide back out there and live amongst Esau.
And then different snacks with pork in it.
You got the ham selling you all this fake Gucci.
and pretty much what Esau is doing, he taking the same game plan as Pharaoh. Because what Pharaoh did was he set up taskmasters over the children of Israel. And that's what these heathen are. That's why you got at the Mr. Heroes, you got the East Indians. At the gas station, you got Ishmael. At the hair store, you got Moab. You know what I'm saying? They all designate them to these different places in our neighborhood.
And then, he give them loans to open up businesses.
Right.
And then let them be tax free. And then they just switch it over and bring another fucking Moabite to the country and switch the business to his name. 70 more years tax free.
Damn. Yeah. Revelation 11 and 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So you nations now off the hook, man. You saw us here deceived. You saw us here calling ourselves nigga, black, and you know we the Jews. You know we the children of Israel. You know what I'm saying? And you don't do nothing about it. You don't speak up. You damn sure don't fight for us. So it says in verse, that's what it means when it says they shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. You didn't tell us our identity. You didn't tell us the truth. Give us rest. Verse 10, it says, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and shall send gifts one to another. And those gifts were slaves, man.
That's right.
Israelite slaves being traded back and forth to these nations. It says, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from power entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. And great fear fell upon them which saw them. And that's it, man. These heathen, they shook, man. All the heathen is shook, And so, hey, we pray this edifying. We give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rechakadash, for giving us the spirit to do this lesson. Lord, us edifying once again. Kwam Yashua, Shalom.